Hi there. Today we're embarking on a captivating journey as we step back in time to explore the legendary TV series Leave It to Beaver. I'm sure many of you hold fond memories of this classic show. Leave It to Beaver is a timeless gem that has left an indelible mark on television history. Join us as we relive the magic, revisiting the series with the entire cast then and now. We'll uncover the original identities and ages of the talented actors from the show and witness how they've transformed in the year 2023. So without further ado, let's dive into the world of Leave It to Beaver together. Ken Osmond as Eddie Haskell. As a youngster, Ken Osmond assumed the role of Eddie Haskell in Leave It to Beaver. In 2020, Osmond passed away due to cardiopulmonary arrest. He also battled chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which hinders airflow from the lungs. He departed at the age of 76 in his Los Angeles residence, surrounded by loved ones. The Glendale, California native commenced his career at the age of 4, engaging in commercials and working as a film extra. By the time he was 9, he secured his inaugural speaking role in the film So Big, as reported by Variety. His presence graced various productions such as Good Morning Miss Dove, Everything But the Truth, The Loretta Young Show, The Walter Winchell File, Fury, Lassie, and Wagon Train. Osmond took on the iconic character in Leave It to Beaver from 1957 to 1963. Originally intended as a one-off guest appearance, Osmond's portrayal of the two-faced teenage rogue, Haskell, exceeded expectations. The show's producers and audience found him so unforgettable that he became a regular, featuring in nearly 100 of the series' 234 episodes. Eddie served as the best friend to Tony Dow's Wally. He adeptly navigated a dual persona, ingratiating himself to adults while demeaning his peers, often within the same scene. In the realm of this wholesome show, he stood as the closest embodiment to a villain, earning both love and disdain from viewers of all ages. Barbara Billingsley as June Cleaver. When envisioning TV mothers of the 1950s, it's quite challenging to surpass the portrayal of June Cleaver by Barbara Billingsley. Not only did she exhibit boundless patience for her sons, but she managed household chores adorned in dresses and pearls. Did your mother engage in such practices? Born Barbara Lillian Combs on December 22, 1915 in Los Angeles, she departed Los Angeles Junior College after a year to join a revue titled Straw Hat. Her journey with the show took her to Broadway, although it unexpectedly closed after just 5 performances. Undeterred, she opted to remain in New York to seek employment, eventually finding success as a fashion model. A 1945 contract with MGM prompted her return to L.A., where she starred in numerous films, albeit in uncredited roles. Unsatisfied, she decided to explore television, marking a distinct shift. Her television career encompassed various guest star appearances and a lead role in the single-season sitcom Professional Father in 1955. Merely 2 years later, she became a part of the Leave It to Beaver ensemble. However, June re-entered her life in 1983, co-starring with Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow in the TV reunion movie and subsequent series. This show resonated with the audience as it closely mirrored the original, with Wally and Beaver now navigating parenthood. Barbara Billingsley, married 3 times, and a mother of 2, passed away at the age of 94 on October 16, 2010, due to polymyalgia. Reflecting on her most iconic role, she shared with TV Guide in 1997, "Some people think she was weak fish, but I don't. She was the love in that family. She sets a good example for what a wife could be. I think the character kinda became me and vice versa. I've never known where one started and where one stopped." Jerry Mathers as the Beaver. Excluding Ron Howard, it would be challenging to identify another juvenile performer who navigated a childhood in the television limelight, aside from Jerry Mathers. Born Gerald Patrick Mathers on June 2, 1948, in Sioux City, Iowa, He commenced his career at the ripe age of 2, initially modeling for a department store advertisement. Subsequently, he featured in a pet milk commercial alongside vaudeville comedian Ed Wynn and appeared in 4 movies, including Alfred Hitchcock's The Trouble with Harry, 1955. By the time he joined the ensemble of Leave It to Beaver, he was already an experienced professional. Post the series' cancellation, Mathers opted for a semblance of a regular existence, enrolling at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks, California. Concurrently, he played a role in a band named Beaver and the Trappers. While attending high school, he also enlisted in the United States Air Force Reserves, achieving the rank of sergeant without experiencing actual combat. Transitioning from there, he pursued a career as a bank loan officer in the 1970s and subsequently utilized his savings from his acting tenure to venture into the realm of real estate. In 1996, Mathers' life took a different trajectory when he received a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, a circumstance he has diligently managed ever since. At one junctura, he even served as a spokesperson for Jenny Craig, dedicating a substantial portion of his time to raising public awareness about the disease and promoting strategies to combat it. Currently at the age of 75, Mathers has been married 3 times, with his most recent union being with Teresa Modnick, whom he wed in 2011. He is a proud parent of 3 children, Hugh, Bowmont as Ward Cleaver. If there ever existed a voice of wisdom in a family sitcom, it undoubtedly belonged to Hugh Bowmont, the patriarch of the Leave It to Beaver cast, and the essence he infused into the character of Ward Cleaver. Born Eugene Hugh Bowmont on February 16, 1909, in Endora, Kansas, he earned his Master of Theology degree from the University of Southern California in 1946. Remarkably, his passion for the world of acting rivaled his commitment to theology. Initiating his journey in the former, he ventured into radio performance, nightclubs, and stage productions. His inaugural film was Phantom Raiders, 1940, although it featured an uncredited role. Between that cinematic debut and the premiere of Leave It to Beaver, he accumulated appearances in 86 movies. Interestingly, only one film, The Human Duplicators, 1965, followed the conclusion of the show. In the realm of television, he made dozens of guest appearances on various shows and headlined 33 episodes of Racket Squad, 1952 to 1953. Post the conclusion of Leave It to Beaver, his television credits encompassed episodes of series like Lassie, Wagon Train, Petticoat Junction, The Virginian, Mannix, Medical Center, Marcus Welby, M.D., and his final role in a 1971 episode of The Most Deadly Game. Although engaging in community theater endeavors, he faced a setback in 1972 when he suffered a stroke from which he never fully recovered. Bowmont relocated to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, where he embraced the role of a Christmas tree farmer. Accompanying him was his wife, Catherine Adams Doty, whom he married in 1941, along with their 3 children, Hunter, Christy, and Mark. Bowmont passed away from a heart attack on May 14, 1982. Tony Dow as Wally Cleaver. One notable aspect of the Leave It to Beaver ensemble is the fact that siblings Wally and Beaver seldom engaged in insulting each other or causing lasting hurt. Undoubtedly, the scripts played a significant role, but some acknowledgement must be accorded to actor Tony Dow, arguably one of the most laid-back older brothers in sitcom history. Even in moments of displeasure, he maintained a relatively calm demeanor. Dow, born on April 13, 1945 in Hollywood, found himself inadvertently entering the entertainment industry, diverging from his initial path. In his youth, swimming dominated his life, leading him to become a junior diving champion with a national record. A lifeguard, aspiring to be an actor, had an audition for a father role, and, noting a resemblance between him and Tony, asked if the boy could accompany him. Ironically, his mother agreed but humorously hoped the older individual wouldn't secure the part, with Tony getting hired instead. Post the show's conclusion, Dow made a few guest appearances, but like the rest of the Leave It to Beaver cast, gaining recognition for other endeavors proved challenging. In 1977, the creators of the movie Airplane crafted the parody Kentucky Fried Movie, featuring a courtroom scene with Dow reprising his role as Wally. Additionally, he joined Billingsley and Mathers in The New Leave It to Beaver, presenting the opportunity for his return. Following its run, he transitioned to directing episodes of Harry and the Hendersons, Babylon 5, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Over time, Dow confronted a diagnosis of clinical depression, leading to some withdrawal. This, however, allowed him to immerse himself in sculpting abstract bronze statues. Unfortunately, he also faced a battle with liver cancer, succumbing to it on July 27, 2022, at the age of 77. Dow, who experienced 2 marriages, leaves behind 1 son. Robert Rusty Stevens as Larry Mondello. Whenever Larry Mondello visited the Cleaver household, his presence could only signify one thing: trouble. Unlike Eddie, Wally's troublemaking best friend who deliberately stirred conflict, Larry, Beaver's closest companion, rarely intended to cause issues, but simply remained oblivious to the consequences of his actions. He inevitably found himself creating some form of chaos, usually implicating Beaver in the mess through association. Whether drilling a hole in the garage, coercing Beaver into smoking Ward's pipe, or attending the fair with money pilfered from Larry's mother, Larry was a source of constant turmoil, consistently professing innocence without truly learning his lesson. Although Larry only featured in the series for the initial 3 seasons, he became a frequently recurring character during those formative years. The actor portraying Larry, Robert Rusty Stevens, was born in 1948 and is still living today. Stevens' acting career primarily revolved around the Leave It to Beaver era. He made guest appearances on various other shows from the 50s and 60s, including Shirley Temple's Storybook and My 3 Sons, among others. Beyond the 60s, his sole and most recent acting credits include reprising his role as Larry for the made-for-TV movie Still the Beaver and 2 episodes of The New Leave It to Beaver in the 80s. Stanley Fafara as Whitey Whitney. Whitey is depicted as a typical teenager and schoolmate of Wally and Beaver Cleaver. He is part of the boys' social circle and is known for his friendly and amiable personality. Whitey is a regular character in the earlier seasons of the show and is often seen engaging in typical teenage activities with Wally and Beaver. Fafara remained part of Leave It to Beaver for 6 years. Following the conclusion of the show in 1963, he enrolled in North Hollywood High School. He formed connections with the pop-rock band Paul Revere and the Raiders and reportedly resided with the band for a period. He developed a dependency on alcohol and initiated drug use. Fafara spent the last 8 years of his life leading a clean and sober lifestyle, initially residing in a residence for recovering individuals dealing with addiction. He later moved to a subCDC department in downtown Portland, Oregon. He sustained himself on Social Security checks amounting to $475 per month until his hospitalization in 2003. Owing to his struggles with heroin addiction, he contracted hepatitis C. Fafara passed away on September 20, 2003, marking his 54th birthday in Portland, Oregon, due to complications from hernia surgery undergone the preceding month. Fafara was laid to rest at Redland Pioneer Cemetery in Redland, Oregon. Stephen Talbot as Gilbert Bates. With Beaver's pal and frequent partner in mischief, Larry Mondello, missing from the latter part of the series, the Leave It to Beaver gang needed a new character to kickstart Beaver's usual misunderstandings and blunders. Enter Gilbert, who mainly made appearances in the later seasons of the show. Gilbert showed more wisdom than the clueless Larry, but wasn't as much of a troublemaker as Wally's friend, Eddie. He fell somewhere in between. He genuinely didn't intend to cause harm in any given situation, but was ready to bail and throw you under the bus if things went awry. Since he joined in the latter half of the sitcom's duration, Gilbert often accompanied Beaver in some of his more mature misadventures, like convincing Beaver to spend his birthday money on a car, in contrast to the boyish predicaments of earlier seasons. The character of Gilbert was portrayed by actor Stephen Talbot. Born in 1949, Talbot has since forged a successful career not only as an actor, but also as a writer, producer, and director, particularly in the realm of documentaries. His extensive list of filmmaking credits include his notable series such as Frontline and Still I Rise, Frank Bank as Clarence Rutherford. Leave It to Beaver introduced a cadre of young performers, and Frank Bank's entire career became synonymous with his portrayal of Clarence Lumpy Rutherford, the elder bully who frequently harassed Beaver and his pals. Bank had previously featured in an episode of Father Knows Best, and Leave It to Beaver ostensibly marked his significant breakthrough in the entertainment industry. Subsequently, he secured the role of Clarence Rutherford in 101 episodes of the follow-up series, The New Leave It to Beaver, which aired on cable television from 1985 to 1989. Banks' post-Leave It to Beaver career saw limited opportunities, although he revisited his character as Lumpy when the sitcom was adapted into a movie in 1997. Bank passed away in 2013 at the age of 71. Richard Correll as Richard Rickover. Richard Correll portrayed the character Richard Rickover in the television series. Hailing from Los Angeles County, California, Correll is the offspring of Charles Correll, renowned for his role as Andy Brown in the radio program Amos and Andy. He shares family ties with Barbara Correll, Dottie Correll, and Charles Correll, Jr., who served as a cinematographer on Animal House. Correll also featured in numerous episodes of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, Lassie, and National Velvet. During his teenage years, Correll formed a close friendship with the iconic silent film comedian Harold Lloyd and his family. He volunteered to aid Lloyd in preserving and archiving the extensive film collection, a commitment he continues today. Credited as the chief archivist for the Lloyd Trust, Correll has shared his extensive knowledge of Lloyd's work and life in interviews and commentary tracks, notably for the 2005 DVD release of Lloyd's films and the 1991 documentary The Third Genius. In 1983, coinciding with the revival of the Leave It to Beaver series, Correll participated as a game show contestant celebrity guest star on the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. Correll marked his directorial debut with the film Ski Patrol. In 2010, Correll filed a lawsuit against Disney, alleging unfair termination and non-payment of creative royalties related to Hannah Montana. Known for his collection of science fiction, fantasy, and horror film artifacts, Correll showcases these items at his Icons of Darkness exhibit in Hollywood. Jerry Weil as Judy Hensler. Jerry Weil took on the role of Judy Hensler in the television series. She made appearances in films such as The Eddie Cantor Story, portraying one of Cantor's daughters. Cast as Judy Hensler, she played the part of a classmate and rival of Theodore Cleaver, while featured in 31 episodes of Leave It to Beaver, including the show's pilot. In 1956, she had an uncredited role as Linda Hutchins in the Western movie The Fastest Gun Alive, starring Glenn Ford. In 1983, following the resurgence of the Leave It to Beaver series in television and film, Weil participated as a game show contestant celebrity guest star on the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. Additionally, she reprised her character Judy Hensler, Benton, in a single guest appearance on a 1987 episode of the revived series The New Leave It to Beaver. Weil left the acting profession after being removed from Leave It to Beaver in October 1960. Presently, she serves as a writer and realtor with Prudential John Arrow and Associates Realty in the Studio City area of Los Angeles. Sue Randall as Miss Alice Landers. Sue Randall takes on the role of Miss Alice Landers in the sitcom series. Born in Philadelphia, Sue Randall was named Marion Burnside. Randall at birth, the younger offspring of Marion Burnside, and Roland Rodrock Randall, a prominent real estate consultant. Her journey in acting commenced at the age of 10 on the stage, participating in a production by the Alden Park Players. Before her portrayal of Ruthie Saylor, a reference desk worker, in the 1957 film Desk Set starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, Randall had appeared in other television productions. Serving as a teacher in Leave It to Beaver, her recurring role spanned from 1958 to 1962. During her 20s, she featured in 28 episodes of the beloved sitcom, taking over from Diane Brewster, who played Miss Canfield in the first season and in the 1980s television movies based on the series. Married to Peter Blake Powell, Randall had 2 children with him. Later, she tied the knot with James J. McSparran, maintaining the marriage until her passing. Retiring from acting in 1967 after her performance in the episode Heaven Help Us on the televised anthology series Vacation Playhouse, she left California 2 years later and returned to Philadelphia. There, she engaged in administrative roles with various charitable organizations, participating in telethons and local events to raise funds for programs and research combating arthritis, multiple sclerosis, blindness, and inadequate childhood education. Randall succumbed to lung and larynx cancer at Pennsylvania Hospital in Philadelphia on October 26, 1984, at the age of 49. We're reminded of the timeless joy this show brought to audiences for over 6 decades. The characters, the stories, and the laughter remain etched in our hearts. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Feel free to comment below with your favorite memories from the show or any thoughts you'd like to share. As we bid farewell, we extend our warm wishes to the surviving members of the cast. May they continue to inspire and bring joy to generations old and new. Until next time, stay nostalgic.